everybody, and thank you for joining us. It is Tuesday, March 19th, 2019, 10 a.m. regular meeting of the Webster County Board of Supervisors. First item on the agenda is to call this meeting to order. Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item number 3 is to approve today's agenda.
Chairman, I'll move item 3.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on today's agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Item number 4 is to approve the March 12th, 2019 meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 4.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on item 4? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. We have no drainage claims today. Item number 6 is to accept and authorize the hiring of Camden Kramer, Correction Officer part-time, effective March 28, 2019, at the rate of $15.93 per hour, per the recommendation of Steve Elfritz, Jail Administrator.
Make the motion to move item 6. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments on item number 6? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 6 carries. Item 7 is to receive and place on file a resignation of Tammy Donahoe, Administrative Assistant, WIC, Outreach Worker, effective March 14, per recommendation of Carrie Prescott, Director of Webster County Public Health.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 7.
I second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 7 carries. Item number 8 is to receive and place on file pay increase for Alex Whittinger, Deputy Sheriff, from $55,240.11 to Step 2, $59,488.96, Step 3, per labor agreement, effective April 11, 2019, per recommendation of James Stubbs, Webster County Sheriff.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 8.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 8 carries. Item number 9 is to receive and place on file appointment of Sherry McCluckey as Pleasant Valley Township Trustee due to the resignation of Pat Chelstrom.
I'll make the motion to move item 9. I'll second.
Motion and a second on item number 9. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 9 carries. Item number 10 is to approve the Webster County Disaster Declaration for severe weather March 13, 2019, allowing for applying to the state of Iowa for public and individual assistance.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 10.
I will second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on item number 10?
You want any comments on that, or?
I don't know if Dylan, he's still tied up, so.
Well, no, he's, said he called me, he's homesick. So, he's had a lot of hours in the last week. What this does, and some of this, and I'm not an expert on this by any means, but some of this is you can apply for grants through the state, and some of it is based on income, on how your grant is awarded. Hopefully with the disaster declaration though, then FEMA can come in too, and you can receive money from FEMA if you have damage. So that's the hope with the 21 counties so far, we should reach that dollar amount. So that's what that amounts to, and that's a good thing that it got done and the state did it. So, if there's any other questions on that?
Nope. I want to thank everybody that came out to help sandbag. Dylan did an excellent job getting them there. The fire chief, Aaron, and Lehigh did a great job coordinating the people. A lot of great people showed up to help and did what they could. So we have a motion and a second on item number 10. If there's no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Item number 11 is to approve resolution number 2019-9, development agreement with Cardale Incorporated, authorizing tax increment payments and pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of the agreement.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 11.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments on item number 11? It's read. This is a resolution, so it's roll call.
Inkle, aye.
Campbell, aye.
Conrad, aye.
Vote aye.
The motion passes. Item number 12 is to approve resolution number 2019-10, a development agreement with Crimmins Investment LLC, authorizing tax increment payments and pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of the agreement.
I'll make the motion to act on item 12. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Inkle, aye.
Campbell, aye.
Conrad, aye.
Vote aye.
The motion passes. Item number 13 is to receive and place on file annual manure management plans for Bob and Travis Hicks, 3925 Baxter Avenue, Gowrie, Mac 1, Tom 1 at 1010 280 Street, Summers, Dallas Thomas Home at 3521 310th Street, Farnhamville.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 13.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments?
I guess if you made no changes, I didn't notice that Dallas is on there too, but the original made no changes.
Okay.
He changed his rotation, looks like Dallas. Both of them.
All right. Seeing no questions, all in favor of item number 13, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Item number 14 is to approve and authorize the chair to sign a license and inter-premise agreement with Martin Marietta at the Fort Dodge Mine.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 14.
Second it.
Motion and a second. Randy?
Yeah, Randy Will, Webster County Engineer. For many years, the Webster County Secondary Road Department has purchased granular surfacing material from the Martin Marietta Fort Dodge Mine. And we utilize two options to purchase the material. One option is to have our trucks get loaded and scaled by the Martin Marietta employees, and then we get invoiced monthly, which this method is similar to about all the other customers they have. The other option is for Martin Marietta to produce a large stockpile of material closer to the main entrance, and then Webster County then brings in a loader to load our own trucks from the stockpile. And the advantage of the second option is the employees do not have to spend time waiting in line to be loaded and scaled, which sometimes during busy times can be 20 to 40 minutes or greater per load. And I mean, we end up paying the same price per ton, and the trade-off is that they don't have to weigh us, but we have to load ourselves, but then we have the freedom to, come in with our loader and actually load it up whenever. So everything's been going uneventful. However, recently, I think Martin Marietta, their upper management, wanted things put in an agreement, and actually, I believe this agreement protects both parties. The county attorney, Darren Driscoll, reviewed the agreement, didn't have any issues with it. And then another stipulation is the county has to provide insurance, and so our insurance carrier did issue the rider without any concern. And so that pretty much spells out what's going on. And it's specific to the Martin Marietta Fort Dodge Mine.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Randy? All right. All in favor of item number 14, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 14 carries. Item number 15 is to adopt a resolution number 2019-2, opposing Senate Study Bill 1045 and Senate File 184, passed by the Senate Committee on Transportation.
I'll make a motion to act on item 15.
I'll second. Motion and a second.
Yeah, I'll try to further explain this. Senate file, it's my understanding the Senate file 184 allows a permit to be issued for hauling raw forestry products up to 130,000 pounds. And then there's a provision in the bill that would allow the DOT to issue an annual permit. And once they issue the permit, it'd be valid on non-primary roads as well as primary. So in other words, the DOT issues its first permit, it would be legal for the permitted load to cross every bridge in the state with 130,000 pounds. And, this does not affect currently posted bridges. All loads have to abide by what's currently posted, all vehicles. But people need to understand that bridge rating is complicated and depends on the total weight of the load, the concentration of the load, the original design of the bridge, and the current condition of the bridge. We post bridges for loads that are currently legal on roads, such as the 80,000 pound tractor trailer or other type of loads. And then we do have a mechanism in place when there are oversized or overweight loads. So, I mean, the state of Iowa, each county has an oversized, overweight responsibility. And if a individual with a larger load wants to do a site-specific route, we have that mechanism in place, and we do it every day. We issue several permits for that. So, and then I just keep dwelling on this, but I mean, a bridge built in 1940 may be just as capable of carrying the 80,000 pound load as a bridge built today. So neither would need to be posted for the current legal loads, but a bridge built in 1940 is capable of carrying 80,000, but that doesn't mean it's going to be capable of carrying 130,000 pounds, which is 62% greater load. So we would end up having to rate quite a few bridges if this bill passes. So, I mean, one more time, the DOT would permit the load, and then technically, my understanding of the bill, the load would then be allowed to travel over the state of Iowa. So that kind of puts the onus on us, where we have to go out and rate all of our bridges, and we'd have an idea which ones we wouldn't have to rate, and the posted ones we wouldn't have to mess with, but the older light design ones, we'd have to re-rate them and then post them in order to restrict these loads. And so the current bill sacrifices infrastructure, creates liabilities for the county, and threatens public safety. So and then I think we had ISAC, Iowa State Associated Counties meeting last week. You had your affiliate, I had my affiliate. We did have a joint meeting between the engineers and supervisors. I believe it was the consensus that we needed to make sure that our voice was heard. It's my understanding that there's a possibility that the Senate might bring this bill up for vote yet this week. So I appreciate you putting this on the agenda. And I'm recommending that you approve the resolution. And if it is approved, I'm going to immediately send it to the two senators, Senator Cranebrink and Senator Bain, and I'm going to also forward to the governor of Remedies. And hopefully that'll help them understand our concerns. So, if you have any other
Questions or comments? All right. Roll call vote. Depot, aye. Campbell, aye.
Conrad, aye.
Stover, aye. The resolution 2019-12 passes. It is now the citizens' opportunity to address the board with items not on the agenda. This is where leadership gets up and does their presentation.
A couple comments on the recent flooding, which is on everybody's mind. Started Thursday night, late Thursday night, obviously, we had a driveway washed out by Kalo. Water ran through it, not much you can do when the water's going through it. Dale Lyles called me a couple times. Went down there, it was down in Kalo Thursday night. Obviously, the river came way up after about 9 o'clock. everything was handled the best way it could, and Lehigh's had some significant flooding, most on the east side. On the south side of Lehigh, B-73, Randy's crew went out and scraped that road off this morning, but the river's starting to creep back there. So, you know, I'm assuming there's probably an ice jam somewhere south of Deception Hollow. The gauges show it coming up a little bit, so hopefully that just goes and can open that road back up. There never was really any discussion about closing the bridge down in Lehigh. That would cause a major problem if you hard close that bridge, because there's no other way to get to the other side of Lehigh, and just fire and rescue and everything else would cause a problem. Could that day come? Sure. If it gets ice, the river gets high enough and ice builds up there, you know, it might happen. There's some other things going on. I just wanted you to know some of that. That road will probably be open today, hopefully. The water just doesn't, I don't think there's any, Lehigh's in any danger itself anymore, but, so that'll go down. This is kind of Dylan's homesick. I worked early this morning and last night, so I just want to say, I think, he had 1,000 sand, we talked about it a week ago, he got 1,000 sandbags, and then 4,000 came more. Some of that comes from the state though, so you can only use those sandbags for critical infrastructure. You can't just sandbag somebody's house with them, technically. But I just want to put a plug in. I think Dylan did one heck of a job this last few days, night and day, and keeping track of everything and keeping people apprised. Randy's foreman did a good job of cable on that driveway. Certain things you can't do right away, but you do it done the next morning. So, just so everybody knows, I think that all in all, for a bad situation, it went fairly well. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Board of Supervisor Committee reports.
You don't have anything, we went to ISAC Wednesday and Thursday last week, there were some meetings down there.
There's a CSS HR meeting tomorrow, I'm an alternate for that. Second judicial meeting on Friday, also an alternate for that. And not a committee report, but eggs and issues is on Saturday.
Thank you.
Growth Alliance on Wednesday and second judicial on Friday.
We were at ISAC last week. Supervisor Conrad and I will be attending the HR meeting tomorrow. We have regional landfill tonight. And again, want to thank everybody for all their help last week. Secondary Roads, Sheriff Department, Lehigh Fire, and yes, Dylan did an outstanding job. He coordinated with other EMAs to get the services here that we needed, so appreciate all the support and help. Motion to allow claims?
So moved.
Seconded?
All in favor? Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.